This is INCRadio BCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Hello.
Hola!
Bonjour.
Konnichiwa.
Ni hao.
Ciao!
Annyeonghaseyo.
Mabuhay!
Welcome to Washington State.
Explore the sights. Discover new things.
Appreciate the arts, music, and food.
Travel to new places.
Meet the people.
Make new friends.
In other words, come home with us.
Come home with us.
This is INCRadio Seattle, Washington.
Alrighty, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of our listeners and viewers all around the world. My name is Brother Joshua Weber from the local congregation of Everett here in the sometimes sunny, today fairly cloudy district of Washington State. Today we're going to be talking a little bit more on our reflections of last year, but most importantly, our projections for ourselves in this coming year. And of course, what I'm talking about is our New Year's resolutions. We're going to be going over what our our previous year's resolutions were and what our resolutions are going forward. So joining us today, we have Sister Kate. So Sister Kate, go ahead and introduce yourself and give any shout outs if you have any at this time.
Yes, hello. My name is Sister Kate. And as for shout outs, I just want to shout out my family, and any friends watching. And Everett, the logo of Everett.
Perfect. Hashtag Everett. There we go. Also joining us will be Brother Andrew. So go ahead, Brother Andrew, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Brother Josh. My name is Brother Andrew Santa Monica from the local of hashtag Seattle. Thank you for listening to INCRadio Seattle, Washington.
There we go. Alrighty. And before we get into our discussion today, we're going to go ahead and ask our YouTube question, which is, of course, what are your New Year's resolutions for 2025? One more time, what are your New Year's resolutions for 2025? Hopefully, once we get a few answers to that, we're going to go ahead and read that over here and just kind of react to your comments here. So, starting off, Brother Andrew, what were your New Year's resolutions for 2024?
Okay, so one big resolution I've had last year was to get my driver's license, and that would be by summer. I divide my New Year's resolutions, or I divide all my goals into quarters. So quarter one would be January, February, and March, and then so on. So I thought of having my license or passing the driver's exam quarter two, but then I actually ended up having to take the exam again, or to take the written exam. So that sort of went later on in the year, quarter three, quarter four. I also had a goal of having 300 poems. So not three, but 300 poems written by the end of quarter two.
And how'd that go?
I'm still working on it. I'm actually 172 or 170 something to this day. Inspiration comes once in a while, but it's still an ongoing process. So over the entire summer, it's just poem after poem. I thought I'd get it done by the end of like April or end of June, as like a challenge.
So is there a reason behind the number 300, or is it just one of those numbers that you set to be like a very big number goal for yourself?
Wait, I actually had a resolution or a goal to have 3 poems, because I've been making poems every month, or every quarter. I'd have a theme, and in previous years, and I was like, I'd like to just have 3 really, like, take time for 3. And I was like, what if I do 300 and see how that goes?
That's quite a big jump.
What happened?
That's cool though, brother Andrew, because I know, for myself, if I were to increase, I'd go maybe from 3 to maybe 30, but 3 to 300, that's a fairly big jump. But you know what? That's great. And what was it that you said you got to? 170?
Without checking, I'm guessing 175.
175. That's still very impressive, brother Andrew. That's awesome. All right. So now I'm going to move over to Sister Kate. So what were your resolutions for last year?
I did come up with some resolutions last year. To be here, the only one I remember is just being more active and like exercising more. I wasn't really doing it in like the beginning half of the year, but towards the end I was actually starting to go pretty consistently. And I had enjoyed it because I wasn't like too hard on myself if I like hadn't gone. I started just going like once a week. And then eventually it was like twice a week, and then it kind of went to like 3 times a week. So it was gradual, but yeah, it made me feel good. And I did enjoy it. And I wasn't doing anything like crazy either. It was just a little bit of like, sometimes walking on a treadmill or like using the elliptical for like half an hour. And then it made me feel good by the end of it. So yeah.
That's good. I know. I know the nefarious New Year's resolution is I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna do this. But when you said it kind of smaller instead of saying I'm gonna go to the gym, just being more active, and like you said, it made you feel better, of course, after a while. Special shout out though to brother Ian Castro from Everett. I know he's been posting daily workout updates. He's now up at day 600 and I just saw it pop up on my phone not too long
It was
ago,
like
but
600 days or something.
yeah, it's like 6:30 at this point. So he's been going every single day. So shout out to brother Ian. We also have a response here from Sister Annette Baldonado. New Year's resolution is to be more active and participating in church activities. There we go. Hashtag Federal Way. And that's always a great, oh, pardon me. That's always a great New Year's resolution to have, is always to just be more active. Um, Now, we're going to go into this year. I know that's a little bit a little bit scary because it just started, so some of us are kind of putting together our New Year's resolutions, but we'll go back to Brother Andrew to give Sister Kate some time. Uh, so, Brother Andrew, how about this year, the year of 2025? What are your kind of goals or ideas of goals that you want to have for this year?
So for this year, I remember I just said I would to get my driver's license last year, but actually what happened was I didn't get to pass my driver's exam. So not the written one. I took the driver's test, the one where you drive, on November, and uh, with no practice, I wasn't able to make it or pass. So my goal is to be able to try again this year. And I'm just like saying it doesn't have to happen right away, it doesn't have to be next week. I'm gonna give myself maybe end of quarter three. We'll see. Time.
And that's great, brother Andrew. I know, even if you don't succeed right away, it's always great to just keep going, keep trying, and don't let it get you down. I know, for myself, my driver's test, it took me quite some time to actually go and take it and do all these other things. So it definitely is a learning process. So, great on you, brother Andrew, for persisting and continuing to, go ahead and go for that goal. We have another response from Brother Von Torres. New Year's resolution, none. But I strive to continue to be active in all that I do, especially in regards to the works of the church. And another response from Brother Patrick Malkinson. New Year's resolution is to improve my golf game. There we go. For those who know Brother Patrick, he is very big on he's one of the ones who participated in our golf not too long ago. I think he was the only one that I know of that was there, but there was a lot that turned out to our last golf what's that called, Unity Games. So that's exciting. Uh, so, Sister Kate, I was trying to stall for as long as I can. Hopefully, you were able to put together a New Year's resolution for this year. So let's hear it.
Like Brother Vaughn, I don't have a New Year's resolution. I don't know. I do want to keep like, being active and like being physically fit. Just because I have enjoyed doing it. And it does make me feel better. I've also been a lot better at being healthy. I'm not or healthy, like eating healthy. Um, I don't eat as I don't know, as I don't eat out as much anymore. And the thing I've been doing is just not buying any like sweets, because because if I don't have it at my place, I just won't eat it. But I love to eat sweets, so like cutting out my sugar has been kind of a big thing for me. So yeah, I think I guess I hadn't written it down like specifically, but I'd say just being more mindful of how I spend my money actually is part of my big New Year's resolution. I think the older I get, the more I realize like I should be buying things that have more quality to them instead of just constantly buying like things all the time. So that's what I have. What about you, Brother Josh? What is your New Year's resolution?
To be fair, I was also trying to stall so I could make my own up, but you got me there. So what I was going to say is that's the fun part about growing up, is realizing that we need to be a little bit more healthy with our decisions, both financially and physically. And that's a bit rough sometimes for some of us. But that's great. That's great to hear, Sister Kate, that you have set those goals, continuing to be healthy in your. I'm trying to solve for myself. So for my own goals, my goals last year, definitely were a lot more towards trying to be more mindful of what I'm eating. I know last year, especially through all of our broadcasts, we talked a lot about, like healthy eating. Of course, here on INCRadio Seattle, we always talk about eating, hiking, just just activities. So definitely, it was a lot more of those kind of things that I wanted to kind of implement for myself was, actually go out and do more hiking or, doing anything really. Being more mindful of the things that I'm eating, the healthy eating choices. And my goal for this year is to not only continue to be mindful of those things, but actually implement those more into my everyday life. Like actually being mindful of the things I'm eating rather than just seeing it like, oh, this has this many grams of sugar and this is like, okay, well, and just eat it anyways. Instead of just looking at it and being like, oh, whatever, but actually doing something about it. So continuing to be active, continuing to be healthy, and of course, being more, just striving to do more for my duties that I have. Whether that's for our CWS or our children's worship service, being a teacher, being more active in that for, visiting the children and, taking care of those who are under my care. And just for choir as well, trying to sing better.
Trying to do a solo.
No solos here. Um, we have another response from Sister Riza Gilmore. From the Gilmore family goal, at least two half-day hikes. Okay, at least two half-day hikes in the area, hashtag Everett. And here we go from Sister Hazel Valdez, or my mom. Mine is to be healthier this year. I just had my wake-up call, and I'm thankful for my second life. Um, there you go. And that's also a part of the reason why I am being a little bit more health conscious this coming year, trying to be there with Sister Hazel on that. From Sister Blessing, Guillermo, trying to roll off the tongue. The family goal for 2025 is to be ready to hike Jordan and Banff by hiking a new place in Washington every month. And see, just like I had mentioned with us here in Washington, where it's always food and hiking. So, just trying to be a little bit more active with that. So, Brother Andrew, I know you had mentioned previously about, kind of setting it in quarters. So what kind of advice would you have for those who are trying to achieve new goals for this year?
My advice is to learn how to plan. Um, None of what I do is because, or none of the goals that get accomplished, they aren't a result of not planning. So there has to be some kind of plan. I myself am currently, all the more this year, learning how to time block. So shout out to Sister Rhea Cabardo. I do need to block time to do the smaller tasks. And even if it's big projects, that could be solved in very, very small tasks. So super small, read one page a day. Um, for reading, yeah, it's a whole nother list of goals. Take it very, very, take very small steps because it could be very daunting, especially when it comes to things that are outside your comfort zone, and things that are very, uh, like you haven't done it before, and they require lots and lots of planning ahead of time. So be proactive, plan, have small steps, and I think you'll be able to reach your goals.
Wonderfully said. I know, to kind of add on to that as well, I know the two people that I always get advice from, both Brother Angel Casanova and Brother Von Torres. So I'm going to kind of combine their advice that they've given, and it's to take it one day at a time, but also to plan ahead. It's kind of an important thing to do, and incorporating what Brother Andrew said to kind of make it on the smaller scale so you can kind of achieve that bigger goal. So, of course, like taking it one day at a time with those smaller bits, but also planning that progression that you'll have. Here we have a few more comments here from Sister Sherelle Ruiz to our dearest Caramel and Carelli. More District Binhi activities, please. Go Binhi from hashtag Tacoma. And from Brother Tristam Monforte, New Year's resolution to never miss an episode of INCRadio Seattle this year. Hashtag Tacoma. There we go. I'll probably join you on that exact same resolution to be to support every single episode of this of our broadcast this year. Whether that's me being here physically for this or to be amongst all of our listeners and viewers there in the comments. So now I'll go over to Sister Kate to ask if you have any advice for those who are planning for their goals.
I agree with Brother Andrew's kind of idea of just making sure it's like little goals so that you're not overwhelmed. I think another one, if you have like someone you could do things with. I know I kind of put it back to like working out again, but like kind of going with a buddy to the gym because then you're kind of holding yourself accountable. Especially because you're trying to like spend time with this person. So then it's like, oh, well, you have to go because now someone else is going with you. And I think that can translate really well to like maybe new hobbies that you might have. So like say, I don't know, you want to start pottery or something, which is something I'm like kind of interested in. So like I'd ask someone else to go with me so then I can push myself to like attend a class. Because it can be really daunting if you're kind of going by yourself and meeting all these new people. So kind of yeah, having a buddy to like do something new with you, and then maybe eventually you'd be able to do it by yourself.
Yeah, I know for myself, we call them, it's like accountability buddies. Um, so my accountability buddy is my sister, Elisa. She's always there to kind of make sure I'm doing stuff with her, whether that's going out for a walk or watching what we're eating and things like that. Because, it's very easy to kind of just be lazy sometimes, especially in this Washington weather. It's easy to just be like, I don't want to do it. But of course, like Sister Kate said, having someone else to be there to kind of motivate you to be able to do those things, to achieve those goals. So that's, it's a great thing to have if you can find one. And if you don't have an accountability buddy, well, you could reach out to us. Me personally, I could be your accountability buddy. I know Brother Andrew is a great accountability buddy. He'd be amazing, and Sister Kate as well. So there we go. You have three right here for those who feel like they don't have anyone that we can hold as accountability buddies for this year or for the coming years. So there we go. And with that, thank you so much, Sister Kate, and well, Brother Andrew, of course, for joining us for our segment here today. We're going to go ahead and move on to our CFO in action, which, of course, will be handled and beautifully done by Brother Andrew Santa Monica. So without further ado, Brother Andrew, go ahead and take it away.
Welcome back to CFO in Action. Brother Andrew, one of the correspondents here for INCRadio. Let's talk about the previous activities from the District of Washington State. So last year, we were able to have different local congregations celebrate their year-end. They had their year-end celebration, starting with local of Tacoma last Friday, and then local of Everett last Saturday, and then we had the local of Burien last Sunday. I was so glad. Shout out to Brother Calvin Tagavilla. He was an amazing host. I was able to see, to visit the local of Burien. Let's continue with upcoming local celebrations. So for this coming Friday on January 10, there will be the local of Seattle's New Year celebration, because it's 2025, at 7 p.m. Registration opens at 6:10 p.m. And we have local of Oak Harbor's New Year celebration. I was going to say year end, but it is a new year and there will be many games. I'm pretty sure every locale had their different programs, games, performances, and we are inviting everyone. You don't have to be in the local to celebrate with us. For Seattle, we'll have a lot of games. You'll be like, you played these games before. After all, we're celebrating together. And what matters is not if we're, what matters is that we are celebrating as a whole. We're having activities because we need each other, as previously mentioned, for the new year. Aside from that, it is raining here in Seattle, as well as for tomorrow. It will be less rainy later on in the weekdays, but it will rain again in the weekend. Temperatures are in the mid-40s in the Seattle area. So let's continue to support each other, especially as it's getting colder. And let's not hibernate, but we should continue to prepare for the weather. Back to you, Brother Josh.
Thank you, Brother Andrew. And I'll make sure to not hibernate. I caught that. It kind of caught me off guard when you said that. So, but yeah, that's great advice. Let's make sure we don't hibernate, both physically and, even in our faith. As it gets colder, we need to make sure that we stay active and that we're going to these activities, even if outside may seem a little scary, being cold and, kind of wet here and there. But let's not let that, take us away from those activities. So before we go, we have a few more comments that we'd like to read out here. We have a greeting from Sister Donna Sanchez. Happy New Year, po, from the Lopez family. Hashtag Bellingham. Another greeting from Brother Von Torres. Happy belated birthday to my niece, Kylene Garcia. May our Almighty God continue to bless you with strong faith and many successes in your life. And we have a response for our question earlier from Sister Melanie Maravilla. Her goal is to never miss any CFO activity. Hashtag Marysville. And of course, we have another greeting from our Assistant District Minister, Brother Relly Rivera. Happy New Year and happy viewing, po. Hello, po. And now we have another response from Sister Michelle Ruiz. My New Year's resolution for INCRadio is to see more of our handsome and beautiful brethren as guests for our future 2025 shows. You are all qualified So don't be don't be shy, dear brethren. So this is also from Sister Michelle and Sister Blessing. Thank you in advance, your INC radio recruiters. There we go. And thank you for your constant support. Couldn't have said it better myself, and I know Sister Kate would have loved to say the same exact thing. Thank you all so much, of course, for a wonderful year last year and a beautiful year going forward. Because, you know, we're going to be spending lots of time together every Saturday here on INCRadio Seattle. So before we close out, we have our kind of cliffhanger statement for our next broadcast coming on next week is, do you have a favorite winter activity? I know we're going into spring sometime soon. However, it is still technically the winter. So do you have a favorite winter activity? Join us next week as we chat about some of our favorite winter activities in Washington State. I know my personal favorite, especially when we were kids, is inner tubing. There we go. So it's the big inflatable like ring, and you'd go slide down the hill in the snow. So much fun. But we'll leave that more discussion for next week. Just a quick reminder on our ways to tune in here on INCRadio Seattle. Of course, it's the YouTube channel. Don't forget, it is the INCRadio DZEM 954. Don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell notification icon that appears after you click the subscription button. So that way you can stay up to date with not only here the Seattle satellite, but all of our Seattleites, all of our other satellites, tongue twister, all of our other satellites here on our YouTube channel. Not only do we have the YouTube channel, but we also have the incradio.org. And with that, we would like to say our special thank yous to Brother Eduardo Manalo, our Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Manalo, our SEBC President and CFO Coordinator, Brother Ramil Regino, our District Minister, Brother Relly Rivera, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Chris Valdez, our CFO Overseer, Brother Manly Andaya, our Executive Producer, the listeners, and last but definitely not the least, the INCRadio Tech Crew. Thank you all so much for your love and support all throughout last year and into the coming years for all of us here. So, from INCRadio Seattle, we will see you later.